All right, this is part three. I have 37 minutes left on my phone. So I'll babble on for good, I don't know, 10 minutes. Then I'll continue my read along of Lord of the Rings. So to all you Lord of the Rings fans, you must be excited, obviously, as I am finishing up chapter 6, which is the Old Forest, obviously. Going back to Sky Source, okay. If one of those two directors were chosen, I'm willing to pay them a nice 40 million out of my own pocket. Hence, I'm going to go a bit over $1 billion for my movie, obviously. If I end up hiring those directors, even if I don't end up hiring those directors, there's a good chance I'm going to go over $1 billion because you have the $10 million fee, $10 million going towards the building for the special effects team, and you also have $5 million going towards my office for me, my wife, and the 17. And then John Favreau and Dave Filoni hire, you also have the bonuses too. Hence, I'm going to go a bit over $1 billion for my movie, obviously. And if Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson are hired, I'm going to go a bit over $1 billion. I'm going to go a billion. I'm going to go to like $1.05 billion around there. But me and my wife will make our money back from the posters and and movie, obviously 4K Blu-ray movies, obviously. Hence why no Hollywood actor is worth me and my wife's royalties because no director is worth me and my wife's royalties. Peter Jackson, Mel Gibson, there's a good chance they're gonna try and even get a piece of royalties. But look, man, you're not getting a piece of royalties. I'm paying you $40 million. That's good enough. You're not happy with the amount of money I'm paying you. You're more than welcome to go back to being a dirty slave in Hollywood and directing in Hollywood if you want to. Yeah, you'll make your money in Hollywood, but you're gonna go back to being a dirty slave. If you want your free 40, if you don't want your free 40 million, you're more than welcome to go back to Hollywood and make your 30 millions if you want to. I'm gonna be very strict. And so I put all these people in pick. Look, man, if you want to be greedy, and try and get a piece of my awards when I'm the one paying all the fucking bills and you're not worth it, you're more than welcome to go to Hollywood and make your 30 millions if you want to. You don't want to make your free 40 million, which is fucking nice, and get spoiled in the process and be saved, experience success and fame with eye leisure. You're more than welcome to go back to Hollywood and make your 30 millions. Same goes with those Hollywood actors. If you're not happy with 38 million, if you're not happy with $40 million, the reason why all these directors and the reason why someone like Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson want a piece of the pie, because they know the real monies on those Hollywood actors, the big Hollywood actors, because they know the real money is the back end profits. If I gave them 0.5% of the profits, they'd be taking home a good like 60 million, $65 million, which is a lot of money. They know the real money. Yeah, the real money in Ivan's movie is the back end profits. It's not the front end. The front end money's nice. It's a lot of money, but the real money is in the back end profits. Hence why they want a piece. They want the front end. They want the front end money too, obviously, but they also want a piece of the pie for the profits, obviously. I'm gonna keep saying this. Look, man, you're not paying the bills. I'm the one paying all the bills. I'm paying for your feeding. I'm paying for your hotel. I'm paying your fucking salary. I'm feeding you. I'm paying all the bills. I'm paying the salaries. Me and my wife are paying all the salaries. We're paying the crew. We're paying all the actors. We're funding the movie project. You're not paying a dime, hence you're not. And at the same time, you're not worth me and my wife's royalties. I'm being very strict. As these Hollywood actors are all going to try and get a piece of the royalties, the big ones. Guys like Will Smith, Dwayne Johnson, Keanu Reeves, Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt, Nicole Kidman. You know what I'm saying? Sandra Bullock. All these actors, Jennifer Aniston. You know what I'm saying? All these big A's actors are all going to try and get a piece of the royalties, man. You look at something fucking crazy. They're all going to try and get a piece of the royalties. All the big actors, you know what I'm saying? Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying? Haley Berry, whatever her name is. All these actors, Scarlett Johansson, all these big woman actors are all the big woman actors and all the big male actors. They're all gonna try and get a piece of the profits. They're all gonna try and get 0.1 to like 1%. They're not gonna go any higher than 1%. They're not gonna try and get like 2-3%. No. They know I would never ever accept that. It's crazy. But they're gonna try and get like 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, even up to 1% of the profits. If you get 1% of the profits from my movie, that's like $120 million, man. 120, $130 million. But they're going to try and get around that 0.3, 0.4 million because they know that's like 40, 50, $60 million. They're going to try and get like 0.3, 0.4%. But I'm going to tell them, I'm going to be very strict. Look, man, if you're not happy with 38 million, if you're not happy with 40 million, if you're not happy with 39 million, if you're not happy with 41 million, if you want to be greedy and if you're not happy with getting your free 40 million, getting your perks, getting your $250,000 royalty check for all the releases, you're more than welcome to go back to Hollywood and make your 30 millions and going back to being a dirty slave. I can cast someone else and you're missing out and you'll be left behind and you'll now go back to being the side attention. I'm going to be very sure. Look, if you're not happy with the money I'm willing to pay you, you're more than welcome to go back to Hollywood, being a dirty slave, make your dirty millions. You know what I'm saying? go back to being the side tension, be a part of the Hollywood system. You don't want to hate your freedom and be saved, experience the what? The glorious experience of glory with Ivan Regia. You're more than happy to go back to Hollywood. I'm going to be very strict on that, obviously. I'm also going to tell Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson if they become very greedy. I'm like, look, man, I'm not paying you any more than $40 million. I'm willing to pay you a nice $40 million, which is me being very generous, which is a rich fucking salary. I'm willing to spoil you and give you perks and give you your $2,000 check for all the releases. It's a good enough deal. If you don't like it, you're more than welcome to go back to Hollywood, make your dirty millions, and be a dirty slave and not have your freedom. And you won't, at the same time, most important of all, you won't be saved. You'll be left behind, yeah. Hence, these directors and actors they're not going to be angry. Some of them might get a bit angry, but these directors and actors won't be angry because I'm paying them a lot of money. Like the director for the Organization movie, the one for John Wick, or Casino Royale, whoever's chosen, I'm willing to pay that director a nice $10 million. And what I'll do for all my movies, I'll give the director producing power. So the director for the Organization movie, I'll have him executive produce that movie. It's good. As a director, it's good to have producing power. The director chosen for Twilight, who directed Twilight, I'll have her be executive producer for Very Unique. I'll pay her a nice $7 million, $8 million, because that's a smaller budget. It's not as much work, that movie. I'll pay her a nice $7 million, $8 million to direct that movie, and I'll have her executive produce the movie. So what I'll do for all my movies, all the directors who I choose, I'll have them executive produce my movie, and I'll give them producing power. As in my opinion, it's good, and I'll also have all the directors co-write it with me too. That way, you both you guys have the same vision. There's nothing worse than directing someone else's script. No, the director needs to co-write it with you. That way, you have the same vision, obviously. So the director of Chosen for Organization, I'll have him co-write it with me. The director who directed Twilight, Chosen for Their Unique, I'll have her co-write that movie with me. That way, you have the same vision. Whoever's chosen for the Hidden Vampire movie, the Western Gangs movie, I'll have them co-write it with me, and I'll have them all be my executive producers. As a director, it's good to have producing power, and it's very important that they co-write it with you. That way, you have the same vision. And there's nothing worse than directing someone else's script. No, in my opinion, the director should co-write the movie, man. That way, they have the same vision. They know the ins and outs of your movie, and hence you're gonna get a better movie. Whereas if you're a director and you direct someone else's script, yeah, you can get a good movie, but because you didn't write the script, you don't know the ins and outs of the movie, obviously. That's why, in my opinion, I believe every director should co-write the script, obviously. I'm not a fan of directors writing it themselves. No, you need to always have a co-writer. That way you have more minds for your script, for your screenplay, obviously. Hence, the more minds you have, the better screenplay you're going to get. Hence why I want to hire 2 script developers to help me for writing my scripts for all my movies, obviously. That way you get the best movie possible. Right? Hence why Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, whoever's chosen, if I choose to hire a director, they will be the lucky chosen directors. Especially those 2 directors. They're going to be the luckies because Last of Us Aliens is the best story I ever told in motion picture. Once you read my book, you'll finally see what I mean. You're going to be like, holy shit, Last of Us Aliens is the best story ever told in motion picture. Once those 2 directors read my book, they're going to be shocked. They're going to be like, holy shit, this is an amazing story. You know what I'm saying? I would love to direct this movie. Yeah, man. They're going to be like, oh my god, I would love to direct this movie. And that's why those 2 directors are really, really, really going to compete for the job, man. If I choose to hire a director, both those directors are going to really fight for the job, man. Because they really want that job so bad. But something tells me Mel Gibson is the right man for the job, though, man. Because there's something about Passion of Christ that's amazing. It's an amazing story. But at the same time, Peter Jackson, you also have Lord of the Rings, too, though. And so both could count. But something tells me Mel Gibson's the right man for the job. And if he is, he'll be saved. If he's chosen, he'll be saved, and he's going to experience the international fame with Ivan VJ. You're going to see constant trends with him and fans on Facebook, on Twitter. Peter Jackson, if he's chosen, you're going to see constant pictures of him on Twitter. Constant trends. You're looking at constant trends forever. That's something crazy. Hence why even those 2 directors, if they're chosen, they're also going to beg me and my wife to resign them, man. They're going to be like, Ivan, man, can I direct your Organization movie, man? I want to work for you. I can't stand Hollywood. Hollywood sucks in Paris Skystars. Your company's so much better than Hollywood. I had a blast. You know what I'm saying? Your luxury will teleport. Same time I got my freedom. I know what it feels like to make millions and be free. I want to work for you. Your company's so much better than Hollywood. I'm like, look, man, you were good for Last of Us Zanes, but you're not good for the organization movie. I'm not going to hire the same directors to direct. I'm not going to hire a director who directed a fantasy world movie to direct a fucking organizational movie. No fucking way. Here's the thing, though. Christopher Nolan is a perfect candidate for what? For the organizational movie, because he did Tenet, he did The Dark Knight, he did those kind of movies. The only problem with him is that he's gonna cost me a lot of money, man. And I'm not willing to pay what. Like, I could pay him like $40 million, but to do that I have to pay him out of my pocket, because the organizational movie is only a $680 million movie. I don't want it affecting the budget. I have to pay him out of my pocket. Christopher Nolan is a good candidate for the organizational movie too. I can have him co-write the script with me because the guy's very smart. The problem is he's going to cost me a lot of money. He's going to cost me as much as Peter Jackson. He's probably a bit cheaper than Peter Jackson. Christopher Nolan would gladly do a movie for me for $30 million. For $30 million, he would gladly direct my movie. But I'd rather hire a cheaper director to save me money. I'll have the one who worked on Casino Royale, and the one who worked on John Wick. Have them compete for the role. Whoever's hired, you pay them a nice $10 million, which is nice. They're cheaper, those directors. Whereas Christopher Nolan is more expensive. He's going to cost me $30 million plus. Obviously. And he would love to direct my organization movie, obviously. And if I did hire him, I would have him co-write it with me. And I would have him write the script, co-write the script with me, obviously, and do the concept art for the organization movie. But I told you, I'm not going to hire Christopher Nolan as my two cans for organization movie are the director who directed John Wick. Because John Wick 3, he's on the run now, so hence why that director's good. And I'll either have that director, compete for the job with the director who directed Casino Royale. Those are two good candidates, because those directors are cheaper. Those two directors will gladly do a movie for me for $10 million. Whereas Christopher Nolan will cost me $25-30 million plus. He's more expensive, obviously. And then the director who directed Twilight, the first one, I want her directing Their Unique. She'll be a bit old by then, but I want her co-writing the script with me, and I want her directing Their Unique, and she's perfect. Twilight was an amazing movie. The first one was an amazing movie. I want that director directing Their Unique. Obviously. Right? You know what? I don't feel like reading Lord of the Rings today. I'll finish all chapter 6 tomorrow. I'm procrastinating. I'll just babble on. You guys prefer it when I babble on anyways. I'll just babble on for this video, and then tomorrow I'll read Lord of the Rings, the rest of chapter 6. I don't feel like reading Lord of the Rings today, you know what I'm saying? Even though I love the book, I'm going to continue chapters. So all you Lord of the Rings fans, don't get mad, don't get angry with me. I will continue my Lord of the Rings read along tomorrow, and I'll finish on chapter 6. I'm just going to babble on, because I have a lot of stuff in my mind I want to talk about. And you guys prefer it when I babble on anyways, right? It's more interesting. Yeah. Right? So Christopher Nolan, in my opinion, you can argue, is the best director in the modern today, man. I believe Christopher Nolan truly is. You have Steven Spielberg, but Steven Spielberg, his movies nowadays aren't the greatest. But you could argue the best director, in my opinion, in Hollywood is Christopher Nolan. Man. Christopher Nolan, in my opinion, I think Christopher Nolan, in my opinion, is the best Hollywood director today right now. You also have Quentin Tarantino too. He's good too. Oh, he's up there too. But in my opinion, Christopher Nolan is the best director in Hollywood, man. Because he did The Prestige. All his movies are amazing movies. He did The Prestige. He did Monumento, whatever it's called. He did The Prestige. He did The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight trilogy, you can argue, is one of the Batman. The Dark Knight, you can argue, is one of the best movies ever made. Man, that was an amazing movie. Amazing movie, man. You also have Tenet. Tenet was good, but it was very complicated to understand. I didn't really like Tenet. Tenet was okay, but Christopher Nolan, you can argue in terms of his story, his quality of story. He's one of the best. In my opinion, he's the best director. He's the best director. Peter Jackson and Mel Gibson are one of the best, but they're not as good as Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan's on another level, man. The guy's an amazing director, man. In my opinion, in terms of smarts and quality of story, man, the guy's a fucking genius, man. I think he's one. I personally think Christopher Nolan is the best director in Hollywood today. Today, in terms of if you're talking about history, you want to talk about in terms of like history of movies. I'd probably say Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, those guys are up there. In terms of, you're going to talk about in terms of history of movies, you can say Steven Spielberg or James Cameron are one of the best directors. But in terms of today in the modern time, Christopher Nolan is the guy, man. In my opinion, he's the best director. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm fucking putting your name out there. Right? He's a good candidate for my organization. The problem is he's going to cost me more money. I'd rather hire a cheaper director to direct that movie. I could hire Christopher Nolan to direct my organization movie, and I can pay him a nice, I don't know, 30. I can even pay him 40 million. Pay him a nice 40 million to direct the movie and co-write the script with me. But the problem is he's just going to cost me more money, obviously. And something tells me the guy from John Wick or the guy from Casino Royale are good candidates for my organization movie. That's why I'm going to hire those guys, and I'm willing to pay them a nice $10 million, which is a good, like, I don't know, 8 million American, which is a nice paycheck, obviously. And I'll have those directors co-write it with me. One of those chosen directors co-write it with me for the organization movie, and I'll have them executive produce my movie too, obviously. Right. So what I'll do for the director, whoever's chosen for the organization movie, I'll pay that director a nice $3 million, I don't know, $2 million signing bonus. You can pay him his $8 million at start production to direct the movie. Because organization movie, you're only looking at 3 months of filming. It's not as long. It's not as big of a project as Zanus. So for that movie, you're only looking at 3 months of filming. I'll pay that director a nice $2 million signing bonus. And I'll pay them a nice $8 million at start production. I don't forget, those directors also get their freedom. They get spoiled. They get their $250,000 road check for all the re-releases, and they get, you know what I'm saying. Don't forget, Peter Jackson or Mel Gibson, if they're hired, they're also going to get featured with me and my wife on the ad shoots. I'm going to have them featured on the ad shoots, obviously. So all the directors for all my movies will also be featured with me and my wife, and the 17. They're going to be featured. They're going to be featured on the website and all that stuff. Featured on the website, all that stuff. Which is pretty cool. So they get featured with me and my wife on the billboards in the office, obviously. I might even do a thing where I put billboards around the city. I can do that. I can easily afford it. I can have a billboard in front of my office, and I can put billboards of me and my wife and the 17 around the city. It'll cost me a good, I don't know, like 40 grand. Easily afford it. So what I'll do, I have an idea for the ad shoots. Every time I do the ad shoots, the pictures get featured on the website. They get featured in front of my building, in my office building, and I'm also going to put billboards around the city for a good month. For a couple months, and that way the whole of Vancouver sees all the pictures. That's something top notch. I might do that. I'll do something like that. It'll cost a couple dozen $1,000s, but it's easy affordable. You have a $9-7 budget, you can easily afford it. That way all of Vancouver knows, oh my god, Ivan and VJ and these people are boss. They own Sky Society. Listen, top notch. I don't need to do that because I have the keys, but I mean, I can do something like that to make it more professional, obviously. So the pictures get featured in front of my building on a billboard. I'll also put a few pictures around the city for everyone to see. Ivan VJ on the 17 featured. Ivan VJ and the actors featured in Vancouver. Just in Vancouver area, and that's it. I'm not going to put it all over the world. No, that's going to cost you so much money. Put it only in the Vancouver area. And the fans are also going to take pictures, and that's going to be trending online of all those billboard pictures around the city and all stuff. Oh my god, Ivan signed these actors are movie stars. Yeah, man, this is top notch. Obviously. But something tells me Christopher Nolan is good for my organization movie too, though, man. Because the guy's an amazing director, man. He's a fucking amazing director. He's very smart too. He's a smart man, very smart man. But the problem with him, he's just gonna cost me more money, man. I'd rather hire a cheaper director. The guy who directed John Wick, or the guy who directed Casino Royale, those guys will gladly direct my movie for $10 million. Whereas Christopher Nolan will not direct my movie for $10 million. He's gonna ask for $25 million plus because he's a big director. He's gonna ask for $25-30 million plus, which I can easily afford. I can pay him through my own pocket. The problem is that I don't feel like paying the director that. I don't feel like taking out that much money, man. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna have the director who directed John Wick and Casino Royale compete for the role, and whoever's chosen, they'll be what? They'll be directing my movie. I'm gonna stick to my guns, obviously. So sorry, Christopher Nolan, you're an amazing director. I'd love to have you on board, but you're too expensive. I'd rather hire a cheaper director. Yeah. And that's how much of a company Movie Wise Cousins. And don't forget, those directors chosen for the organization movie, they're also gonna beg the ass. They're like, oh, man, can I direct your very unique movie, man? I want to work for you. Your company's so much better than all, man. No, man. You were good for the organization movie. You're good for the organizational Great Escape movie, but you're not good for their unique. The actors, two actors chosen for the organization movie, they're also gonna beg me want to be signed. So the actor in Country of Old Men, I forget his name, he's gonna beg me want to be signed. And the actor who was in Legion and Vision for Marvel, he's gonna beg me want to be signed. I mean, Ivan, man, can I be in your next movie, man? I want to be in your very unique movie. I'm like, no, man, you're good for the organization movie, but you're not good for their unique. That's how much of a company we're gonna have. Everyone who works for my company, they're all gonna beg their asses off me wanting to resign them, because Sky Source is better than Hollywood. At the same time, those actors got freedom, man. They got paid millions of dollars, and they also got their freedom. They know there's no such thing as freedom in Hollywood. There's no such thing as free millions in Hollywood. Hence why these Hollywood actors are all going to really, really beg their asses off for me and my wife to resign. The actors for Zayans are going to beg. The actor for the organization we're going to beg. The director for the organization movie are going to beg. The director for their unique is going to beg. The director for the Hidden Vampire movie is going to beg. The director for the Western Gangster is going to beg. They're all going to beg because what? Because my Sky Source company is that top notch. Looking at the best film brand in the entertainment business. You guys prefer that Babylon, hence why I decided to Babylon for this video. And tomorrow I will finish off Chapter 6, I promise. I will finish off Chapter 6 tomorrow to all you Lord of the Rings fans. All you Lord of the Rings fans who really love my relong, you have to bear with me. I will finish Chapter 6 tomorrow. And once I finish Chapter 6, I'm officially halfway through Book 1. Because by the end of October, I should get through all of Book 1. Obviously. Right? So stay tuned for my Swimming with the Sharks video. I'll be making that video in a couple of days from now. I'll babble on for a good hour. The remaining 30 minutes, I will talk about Amazon. Amazon's 40% cut of the profits, and Sky Source, Ivan and VJ's 60% cut of the profits. I'll talk about the process, how I'm going to fly Amazon to my office. We're going to negotiate the deal. The doctor will be filming all this, don't forget that. I'm going to call it the deal. The big deal, right? So Ivan and VJ's contract with Amazon is a huge deal, obviously. I'm also going to talk about the Hollywood actors. I do not let the big A-list actors dupe you. I don't care who you are. You may be Will Smith, Dwayne Johnson, you know what I'm saying, Nicole Kidman, you know what I'm saying, Sandra Bullock. I don't care how big you are, Scarlett Johansson. I don't care how big you are. Chris Hemsworth, you know what I'm saying? All these big actors. I don't care how big you are. You're not getting a piece of the royalties. Zero. You're not getting a piece of the royalties, man. You know what? What I'll do, I'll give the actors a $250,000 royalty check for the posters. Considering they're featured on your posters, I'll give them a $250,000 royalty check for the posters too, which is nice, obviously. They're not worth any more than $250,000. What I'll do for the actors, I'll change my mind. For the actors all the main actors and Zayn's featured on the posters, I will pay them a $250,000 royalty check for the posters. And the A-list actors, I'll give them a $250,000 royalty check. I'll give them a $250,000 royalty check for the posters. And the minor ones don't get featured on the posters. So the major actors who are going to be featured on the posters, they get a $250,000 royalty check for the posters. So once I release the posters for purchase on Amazon, the actors get their $250,000 royalty check, which is nice, obviously. They get the $250,000 royalty check for the posters. Actually, you know what? No, man. They're not worth it, man. No, I'm not doing that. Never mind. No, I'm not giving the actors $2,000 royalty check for the posters. They're not worth it, man. I'm paying you your $8 million. I'm also paying you what, $2,000 worth of release. That's good enough. I'm not gonna give them a royalty check for the posters. Because last thing you want to do is have Amazon take 40%, and you're giving all these people, even though $250,000 royalty check is pocket change, you're giving I don't know, a good $2.5 million went to the actors when they're not even worth your fucking royalties. No, I'm not giving them a piece of royalties for the posters. No, I'm gonna be strict. No actor's getting a piece of royalties for the posters or the movies. I changed my mind, then. Never mind. Forget what I said. But I'm gonna be very strict. No Hollywood actor is getting a piece of the royalties. I'm already paying you. There's no such thing as back end profits for my company. You get a flat salary and you get perks, and that's it, man. And you get your 2,000 check for the release. That's it. That's the only what. That's the only. That's the only what. That's the only back end deal you're getting. Your 2,000 is nice, obviously. And I told you, there's a good chance guys like Will Smith. There's a good chance one of these actors are gonna be in one of my 5 movies. Like, there's a good chance Keanu Reeves might be in my organizational movie. There's a good chance he's good for one of the hitmen. I can have him be one of the hitmen for the company, obviously. There's a good chance Keanu Reeves. There's a good chance Keanu Reeves, guys like Will Smith, Keanu Reeves, there's a good chance they're going to be in one of my 5 movies. Because they're so big actors, there's a good chance those actors are going to be in one of my 5 movies, man. Obviously. There's a good chance women like Scarlett Johansson, Sandra Bullock, you know what I'm saying? There's a good chance one of those women actors will be in one of my movies. I don't know. You guys see the future. You know who's going to be in my movie. But there's a good chance one of those women actors, those big, Nicole Kidman, there's a good chance one of those big actors are going to be in my movie, obviously. Will Smith. Will Smith is good for the Hidden Vampire movie. But by then he'll be fucking old, man. He'll be in his 70s. But Will Smith is good for the Hidden Vampire movie. I don't know if I'll cast him, but he's good for the Hidden Vampire movie. But the Hidden Vampire movie is 18 years from now. Will Smith will be what? He'll be in his late 70s by then. He'll be a lot older. It's actually funny, you know what I'm saying? That's why all these actors are going to desperately try and get into my movie, because I want to be in Ivan's movie. I want to experience the sense of fame with Ivan and VJ before I grow old and die, you know what I'm saying? Hence why all these actors are going to so badly. Like Samuel Jackson he's a good chance he might be in one of my movies too. You never know, man. Samuel Jackson might be good for my organization movie, and I can have him be one of the bosses who works for the organization movie. He's good. He's good for the movie too. I don't know who I'm gonna cast, man. You have to send your reels, guys. Right? But for Zanus, I already chose my actors. Zanus is the only movie whereby I don't have any big A-list actors. I can't afford to have big A-list actors in that movie. Zanus is the only movie whereby I'm not casting as big stars, obviously. I'm casting a few big stars, like Idris Elba, you know what I'm saying? Don Cheadle, those are pretty big. Those are smaller A-listers, but they're not like really, really big name stars. They're pretty big name stars. They're A-list actors, they're small A-list actors, but they're not like big name stars like Will Smith, Dwayne Johnson, those kind of guys, right? That's where you know what I'm saying? John Boyega, who's chosen for, I'm saying their names, John Boyega, who's chosen for Tacitonius. Those actors are not really big stars. Hence, Zanus is the only movie whereby I'm not going to, in my opinion, for medieval kind of movies, big name stars are not really good for those movies. You cast lesser big stars, obviously. Don Cheadle and Idris Elba and Andy Serkis are pretty big name stars, obviously. They're small A-list actors. But I'm not casting any big actors for Last of Us Zanus. But for the organization movie, I'm going to cast a good 2 to 3 big A-list actors. 3 big ones. 2. I'll cast 2. You gotta watch it for your budget, man. I don't know if I can afford 3. I'll cast 2 to 3 big A-list actors for that movie and 4 to 5 small A-listers. I already have 1 small A-lister chosen, so I'll cast 3 to 4 more small A-listers. And the actor, the hitman actor, he's like a rising starish small A-lister kind of guy. Him, I pay like $5 million, right? So I'm gonna have a good 7 to 8 A-listers for the organization movie. I told you, guys like Keanu Reeves, you know what I'm saying, Samuel Jackson, there's a good chance I might cast one of those guys for that movie, man. Samuel Jackson is a good character to play for a boss. You know, I can have him be one of the big bosses for the organization movie. He's good too. He has that look, obviously, too, right? And Keanu Reeves, I can have him be one of the hitmen. Obviously, you look at some top notch. Again, if Keanu Reeves or Samuel Jackson were in that movie, I'm willing to pay them a nice $38 million. 38 to 40 million. 41, 42, 44 million is a bit more rare. You have multiple guys, you gotta watch for your budget. But we want to pay them, Samuel Jackson or Keanu Reeves if they're in my organization movie, a nice $39 million, $40 million. So 2 people, that's already like $80 million on your budget. Hence why you gotta watch out for your budget, man. Obviously. And then the actor who's in Legion, I'm willing to pay him a nice 11.5 million for the movie, which is nice, obviously. Pay him a nice, I can even pay him 12 million. Pay him a nice 12 million for the role, which is nice, obviously. And then the actor who is the hitman, I'll pay him a nice 5 million. Because that actor's kind of like a rising star. He's not really an A-list actor. He's in Dune, whatever it is, but he's kind of like a rising star. Pay him a nice $5 million for the role of the Hitman. At the same time, even there's some roles where there's some A's actors who are worth less than $9 million. There's some A's actors who are worth that 7, 8. That they're worth that rising star salary. Like the actor who's in Country for Men is not worth like $9 million. No, he's worth a good like $5 million for your movie, which is nice for a hitman, obviously. Pay him a nice $5 million for the role of the hitman. And there's a good chance guys like Samuel Jackson, Keanu Reeves are good for the organization movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he's perfect for my Western gangster movie. But the Western gangster movie is like 24 years from now, so by that time he'll be in his 70s. Leonardo DiCaprio's in his 40s, so by that time he'll be in his 60s. He'll be in his late 60s. He'll be in his early 70s. Yeah, he's still pretty young. But it's a good chance Leonardo DiCaprio is good for the Western gangster movie. Will Smith is good for the Hidden Vampire movie. I can have him be one of the captains on the boat. You can have him be one of the captains, and he's good for that movie. Again, I don't know who I'm casting. You guys are gonna have to. All you Hollywood actors who are excited, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys see the future. You know how much of a Sky is coming when I have. All you Hollywood actors who are excited about me starring Sky Source, me paying your free millions, experience success and fame with Idol VJ, you're gonna have to send in your reels. I don't know where I want to cast, obviously. Scarlett Johansson is good for one of the Hitmen too. For the organization movie, I can have her and my wife fight in the movie. Imagine that. Because Scarlett Johansson was Black Widow. Was Black Widow in what? She was Black Widow in Marvel, so she's good for one of the Hitman women. I can have her and my wife fight in the movie. Again, I don't know who I'm hiring. You're gonna have to send your reels. I don't know, but I told you those A's actors, because I'm gonna have a good because I'm gonna have a good 8 A's actors for the organization movie. There's a good chance one of those actors will be cast for the movie, man. Keanu Reeves, Samuel Jackson, Scarlett Johansson, you know what I'm saying, Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman. There's a good chance one of those actors could be cast, obviously. I only have 2 actors chosen from our organization movie. Those actors are lucky. They're going to be saved, obviously. And I have the actors chosen for Last Revenge, but I don't know who I want to cast for organization movie. You're going to have to send your reels. I don't know who I want to cast for They're Unique. Obviously. I thought of Zac Efron for They're Unique as I thought of Zac Efron playing. I thought of Zac Efron being my best friend in the movie for They're Unique. Jake, my best friend Jake. I thought of Zac Efron. I thought he was pretty good. The problem is by then he'll be in his 40s, and I want the actor for Jake to be in his, because I'm gonna be 30 years old forever. So I want the actor for Jake to be in his 30s, obviously. I also thought of KJ Apa. KJ Apa could be good for my friend Jake for They're Unique, obviously. He could be a good candidate too, because KJ Apa's young. He's only in his early 20s. So by the time I do They're Unique, he'll be in his mid 30s. So he's a good candidate for my friend Jake for They're Unique, obviously. Show my camera here.